Hello. So I just wanted to talk a little bit of things that we have not yet been able to cover in class, but are kind of easy. But still, you may want to just go through all this material that I'm going to record. So the first thing, so what were we? A quick recap. So what we were doing until the last class was we were looking at several properties. So we began, we defined what's a random variable, then we were looking at discrete random variables, and then we saw several examples here. For example, Bernoulli, binomial, okay, Poisson, and geometric. Okay, then we went to so in all these random variables, we saw what's the meaning of expectations, and we saw what is a variance. Okay, so expectation is typically written as mu. This is called as mu. Okay, mu. It's a Greek letter, or we write, and the variance we write as sigma square. Okay, so this is some notation that is typically used. Okay, and after that we looked at jointly distributed random variables. Okay, so this was also in the context of discrete. So we looked at joint PMF, probability mass function. Okay, and then we also saw what is marginalization. And then we also saw what is called as conditional random variables. Okay, so while we were studying conditional random variable, we saw for geometric random variable, we saw what is called as memorylessness property or memoryless property. Okay, so what that essentially means is that x minus k, given that x is greater than k, okay, so probability that the particular random variable x, so memoryless property of geometric. So which was the geometric random variable? We took x, which is geometric with parameter p, and we said x minus k, given that x is greater than k, this is also distributed as geometric. Okay, with same parameter p. Now I just wanted to add a few things here. Okay, so one way to think of memoryless is like consider an example. So suppose okay, human life was okay, so it's not geometric, but suppose, let's say, human life was memoryless. Okay, so what does that mean? So what we are trying to say is, so suppose x is a random variable which denotes the human life, okay, and lifetime, let us say, in years. And what we are saying is this is not geometric, but it is memoryless. Suppose I am just trying to give you an analogy. Okay, this is not strictly correct, of course. So anyway, so when we have that human life is memoryless, so what does that mean? So if you take, let's say, a random two people, we will pick randomly from the population. So one is just born infant, and second person is 100-year-old man, suppose. Okay, so just born infant and a 100-year-old man, we just look at these two people at a given time. Let's say we see them now, okay, and now what this essentially this memorylessness property says is that remaining lifetime, okay, remaining lifetime for the infant, okay, expected remaining lifetime of the infant is same as expected remaining lifetime of the 100-year-old man. Okay, so this is what the memorylessness means. In fact, it says something even more stronger. What it says is this distribution. Suppose if you look at the distribution of the remaining lifetime, both the distributions will look identical. So if the distribution was something like this, which is a memoryless distribution, suppose. Okay, so this is strictly, I mean, I'm just trying to give you an analogy. Okay, don't think that this is actually something that is happening. But let's say if the remaining lifetime had some distribution like this, the remaining lifetime for both these individuals will look identical when the lifetime is a memoryless variable. Okay, so this is a fantastic property, and it may seem like it is not true, but there are many random variables which have this property. In particular, we have seen the example of geometric. So if you think of x as the like geometric p, right? So if you think this is true, so then so basically, given that a geometric random variable has survived until a time k, the remaining lifetime, okay, which is x minus k, anything in excess of k, this will be also geometric. Okay, I hope this analogy makes it clear what we are trying to say. All right. So with this, let's look at the next important concept, which is called independence. So again, we will do all of this in the context of discrete random variable, but later on we will do it in other in the case of continuous as well. Okay, so now we are going to study independence of random variables. So first is discrete. Let us say two random variables x and y are independent. Okay. So before that, we had seen how it was when we looked at a probability space. Suppose omega e and p was a probability space, and then we had a comma b are independent events. So what does that mean? We used to say that probability of a and b simultaneously happening, okay, that is also indicated by a comma b or a intersection b. This is equal to probability of a into probability of b. Okay, so now when we say something is an independent random variable, okay, so what we are going to do is, see, random variable can take all possible values, and for every possible value something similar has to be true. And the way to do that is, you just take the PMF, px of small x comma small y, it is equal to px, the marginal of x into marginal of y. So this is for independent random variables, but we had done something similar. This is true for all x comma y in the range of this and the range of that. Okay, so this is true for every possible y values x and y can take. Okay, we had done something similar in the context of conditioning. So what we had shown in the context of conditioning is this. Sorry. So let's derive it so that it gets concretized. I mean, it gets the idea becomes concrete in your memory. So what is px comma y of x comma y divided by px of x. So let's try to derive this. So this is the probability that x is equal to x and y is equal to y divided by probability that x is equal to x. Okay, so this is the definition. Now this is nothing but probability that y is equal to small y given that x is equal to small x. Okay, so now we are ready to write so this is p y given x is equal to x of y. Okay, so this is a fixed value. Whenever you have a given, it's a fixed value. Okay, so now finally for general random variables, so let me write in a different color. For any two random variables, which even if it is independent or not, what we have is pxy of x comma y is px of x into py of x equal to small x into y. Okay, this is for all x comma y. Okay, so when two random variables are independent, what we have essentially shown is that this one py of y is same as py given x is equal to small x of y. So basically the value of x being a particular value x does not have any impact on the distribution of y. So that is the meaning of independence. Alright. So there are several fascinating properties that you can prove because of independence. Okay, so lot of nice thing happens. So let us look at some of these nice properties. Okay, so let's do that. So the first property that I would like to start with is so we will try to show what is the expectation of xy. So this is what we would like to show. Now we have discussed this. So if you recollect from the last class, so expectation of g of x comma y, right? What was that? So we showed it that this is actually sum over all possible x and y's, g of small x small y, p xy of small x small y. So this is what we discussed last time. So using the same definition, e of xy, is going to be sum over these two parameters. Okay, small x into small y, p xy of small x small y. Alright, now we will use, so the idea is we want to do e of xy for x comma y which are independent random variables. Okay, so that is the question. So now since they are independent, we know the property that they obey. So it is going to be xy, this is px of x into py of y. Now we are going to do something like we are going to rearrange terms and see what does that give. Okay, so before that, if you see when we are summing over y, alright, here all the terms of x can be pulled out because that's a common factor. Okay, so let's do that. So this will be x px of x, okay, summation y y times py of y. Okay, now if you look at this term and this term, they are completely, you have separated the variables. So that means you can do it separately and multiply them together. Okay, and if you look at these things are nothing but ex into ey. So sometimes when we write expectation, typically we write like this, but you can also write it as ex. This is like a short form, but if you're not comfortable, we'll put this. Alright, So this is true for x and y, which is random. And also we can show if you instead of doing x and y, if you had some other terms like gx into hy, okay, and if you want to do the expectation, you can also show that this is, it follows exactly the same steps that we have done now. So this is also you can show when x comma y are independent. Alright, so this is an interesting property of independent random variables. Okay, so since since we have discussed independence, now there are some immediate things that we can study. So let's take an example. So before that, let's take a simple case of z, which is going to be x plus y, where x comma y are independent. So one thing that is true for all random variables x and y is expected value of z is going to be expected value of x plus expected value of y. Okay, this is true for any random variables x comma y, even if they are not independent. So I don't recollect discussing this in the class, so let's do this first. Okay, so this is a small digression. So what we are interested in is sum of x comma x and y which are independent, but before that let us look at the expectation of x without using any property of independence. So let's do this. So expected value of z, so LHS, okay, is actually sum over all x and y, x plus y, f x comma y of small x small y. So this is also, I'm sorry, let me just quickly make this correction. Okay. So that will result in what will this happen? This will actually you can distribute this sums. Okay, so see, I have not used any property of independence so far. Okay, so I will not use any properties of independence even further going down the line. So what we will do is, this is summation over x times summation over y, f of x comma y. Okay, and likewise this time here when I am doing sum, it is x and y first. I have to sum over x, then sum over y, but I will interchange it, because this we can do when you have summation. You can interchange the way you take sums. Alright, and I will do similar steps. I will take y common, okay, and then I will sum over x. Okay, I have not used any property of independence for even for so far, and I will not use for this particular result till the very end. So this will be x. Now this is the thing, but the marginalization. So this is fx of small x plus sum over y, fy of small y. So when you do this, now you recognize this is expected value of x plus expected value of y. Since I did not use any property of independent random variables, this holds for any general random variable, and so that when you take their sum, the expectation is sum of the individual expectations. This is called linearity of expectations. Okay, all right. So in fact, if you take expectation of anyway, we will see all the properties later, but yeah, so this linearity is true. But now we will show something even more interesting, which is called variance of z. Okay, so that is nothing but variance of x plus y. Okay, so this is nothing but what is this? So this is expectation of x plus y minus expectation of x plus y, okay, whole square. All right. Now just now we have shown that expectation of x plus y is ex and ey, so this will be expectation of, okay, x minus ex into y minus ey. There is a plus here, sorry, okay, whole square this. Alright, so actually before we take the expectation, what do you mean by taking the expectation? So we have to take the sums, right, and x, y, and then whatever is there, then p, x, y. This is what we would do. But I am saying even before you do the summation, taking the expectation, you can actually do all the algebra here, and then you can take the expectation. That actually is permissible. You can check it. Why? Because all these steps that we are doing, if you do it with the joint probability mass function put, all of this will be small x. This ex and ey will be continuing to be constants. They are constants, and then you can do the operations there, or you can do the same steps here. So nothing changes. So this is like a plus b whole squared. So that will become like x minus ex whole squared, a square, okay, y minus ey whole squared, that is b squared, plus 2 times x minus ex into y minus ey. Alright, so these things we will get. Now if you see, linearity holds, so we can write it as expectation of x minus ex whole squared plus expectation of y minus ey whole squared plus 2 times expectation of x minus ex into y minus ey. Right? So this is what it is. Now there are 3 expectations. The first one is nothing but variance of x. The second one is nothing but variance of y. Now the third one, it is having the form of h of x into, this is like h of x, and this is like g of x and h of y, right? So that we had done before. Now we are now using the property that x and y are independent. So expectation of these two functions is actually the product of each of them multiplied together. So that will be plus 2 times expectation of g of x into expectation of h of y. Okay, so replacing what each of these terms are, so this will be variance of x plus variance of y plus now it is 2 times expectation of x minus ex minus expectation of x minus y minus into product y minus ey. Now we will focus on the one of these terms first. So expectation of, first we will look at what is the expectation of x plus a constant, plus or minus constant. What does that do? So let's try to do this. So this is going to be sum over x, small x plus or minus constant times px of x. Okay, so now we can rearrange terms. So this you will get x px of x, okay, plus or minus constant times summation x px of x. So this entire thing is equal to 1. So what you will get is, it is expectation of x plus or minus constant. Okay, so this is a side interlude. So let's copy this one and see what does that mean here. So remember, what were we trying to do? We were trying to find out variance of x plus y, where x and y are independent. So that we showed is as variance of x plus variance of y plus this. Okay, so that is variance of x plus variance of y, okay, plus 2 times expectation of x minus ex. What is expectation of x? It's a single constant number, right? It is a constant for a given random variable. Expectation is a constant. Okay, so that this property will be true, which you will get it as expectation of x minus expectation of x, which is a constant, okay, into expectation of y minus expectation of y. All right, so this is all 0, so this is variance of x plus variance of y. Okay, so that's it. So whenever you have independent random variables, the variances are additive. Okay, this is not true for any x and y where x and y are not independent. So this is only true, rather than saying like that, this is true when x comma y are independent. So this is a very interesting property of independent random variables. Okay, and analogously, if you have more than 2 random variables, say x, y and z, okay, and if we say they are independent, then all it has to do, it has to satisfy this property. It doesn't have to satisfy pairwise. Okay, that is only true for events. Okay, so this is enough, this much is enough, because you know this is a very strong condition. We are saying for all x, y and z, so this is a very strong condition. So as long as this is true, we can say several random variables are also independent. So I mean, you can think of a generalization. So so expectation of sum of xi, I equal to 1 to n, okay, is equal to expectation sum of the expectations. Okay, this is true, I equal to 1 to n. This is for any general random variables x1 to xn. This is true. Okay, when x1 to xn are independent, we also have another property, which is variance of, okay, I equal to 1 to n xi is going to be sum of the variances, variance of x1 plus variance of x2 all the way till variance of xn. All right.